This caramel and chocolate cake is a recipe from the Happy Pear lads, Steve and Dave, in Greystones, Ireland. I used to live in Dublin and I have been to the cafe. I haven't been there in years because I moved out of Ireland. I also didn't have the cake then in the cafe. I found the recipe later on, and I will put the link to the recipe that it's on YouTube so that you can check it out, because I'm making a few adjustments to the recipe. One being that they use a 20 centimeter cake tin, but actually mine is 24 centimeters, which I don't mind because it's quite a rich cake. So the fact that it is a little bit thinner, I quite enjoy it. 5 ingredients for this cake. You will need some dates. I'm using Medjool dates, peanut butter, coconut oil, some dark chocolate, and also some cashew nuts. The nuts can be replaced by any nuts of your liking. It could be almonds, it could be walnuts, whatever you want. And as well, the peanut butter could be swapped for almond butter, or tahini as well, works well with this recipe. And you will also need a food processor and some scales. And I've also lined my cake tin with some parchment paper. And I would recommend that you use cake tin where you can remove the outside, makes it easier, obviously, to serve the cake. And I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the base first, but before I do that, I'm gonna measure out the 300 grams of dates that you need for the caramel and just soak them a little bit in water just to soften them up a little bit more. I have measured out my 300 grams of pitted dates. The reason I chose Medjool dates is that they are very soft already. But like I say, I'm just going to soak them for a little while I do the base in water to soften them up even more. And of course, I am using filtered water for that. So I'm just going to cover this and just put this to the side for now. For the base, I am using roasted cashew nuts. I roasted them in the oven, but you can get them already roasted if you'd like. Just put this in my food processor. And you want to blend this until it becomes like a bit sandy, you know, like you would do for a biscuit base, basically. Great, I'm happy with that. So you can see very much like biscuits that you would get in the shop. I'm going to transfer the cashew in a bowl just to mix it. To mix it with 2 tablespoons of coconut oil that are already melted. And the Happy Pear boys, in their recipe, they use 150 grams of dates to put to the nut mix. I'm actually going to use date sugar. So it's basically just dried date into powder, so you get the sugar. And I'm going to put quite a bit less, just because I think 150 grams of dates makes it a little bit sickly to my taste. So I'm just going to put 3 tablespoons, heaped tablespoon of the date sugar, which is roughly, I think it's about like 60 grams basically of sugar, and mix that all together. And I'm going to add in my 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. Mix that together. Okay, so now everything is well combined, and I'm going to transfer this to my cake tin. And you can just use a spoon, trying as much as possible, obviously, to spread it evenly. And the Happy Pear lads have a good trick where they use another piece of parchment paper just to press it down, which I'm going to get right now. Just placing that over. And that's it. That's the base done. I'm going to put that in the fridge just to help the coconut to solidify a little bit while I do the caramel. And for the caramel, you need so the 300 grams of pitted dates. The recipe calls for 120 grams of coconut oil and also 150 grams of peanut butter. This is homemade peanut butter using just peanuts. Obviously, you can get peanut butter from the shop. Make sure that it's smooth. And I'm just going to transfer everything. And also, oh yes, you also need 6 tablespoons of water to be added gradually. But since I soaked my dates in water, I'm just going to use the water from the dates. So first, I'm just going to transfer the dates, my coconut oil. I'm going to give this a little bit of a blitz with the food processor before adding the peanut butter. Okay, so this is a bit smoother, not super appetizing at the moment. Gonna measure out my 150 grams of peanut butter. Add that to the mix. And for now, I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons of the water from the dates. And then I'll see how it goes as I go on blending. Okay, so you can see how it looks right now. It's not looking like caramel. I'm just going to keep going. And with this, you might have to do this in batches. If you notice that your food processor gets hot, then, you know, just leave it and then come back to it. But don't be discouraged if you see that maybe it doesn't come together. Just keep going. Trust me, I've been there also when I was thinking to myself, oh my God, this is not going to work. It does work. You just have to be patient. Okay, this is the final result. You end up with this beautiful toffee-like texture. Let me try it. Delish. I'm gonna get my cake tin. And just transfer this beauty to my tin. And using a spatula, trying to spread this again as evenly as possible. I believe that Steve and Dave also in their recipe, they use the parchment paper thing over the toffee. But I'm not. Just gonna do this with a spatula. Okay, that's my caramel layer done. I tried to get it as evenly spread as I could. If it's not a big deal for me. I'm not sitting in the cafe or anything. It's just for me. And I'm now gonna do the last layer, which is the chocolate layer. But before I do that, which is also what the Happy Pear lads do in their recipe, making this a salted caramel. Now they put the salt at the end on top of the chocolate layer, but I'm actually going to sprinkle it here on top of the toffee right now, just a little bit, because who doesn't like a bit of salted caramel? I know I do. So just a bit of salt there before I return it to the fridge while I make the chocolate layer. There, that's enough. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the fridge to let it set as well, and then I'll do the final layer. Now, once again, I'm doing things a little bit differently to the Happy Pear brothers for the chocolate layer. They use 300 grams of dark chocolate for the last layer. I'm only using 200 grams. I do like it with 300 grams, but again, for me, in the end, I thought it was a bit sickly. So I just want a thinner layer. Make sure that you're using good quality chocolate, obviously good quality ingredients. This is organic and it has 56% of cacao. You can go higher or lower, whatever, it's up to you. And for this, using a double boiler method, like so, I'm just gonna break up my chocolate. And the Steve and Dave have a good advice. In the 300 grams of chocolate, they had 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, just to make the texture more silky and easily to spread out evenly. Obviously, I'm using only 200 grams of chocolate, so I'm using 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Okay, I'm going to put that on the stove and get it melted, and then I put that on the cake. My chocolate is now fully melted. It's looking beautiful. Make sure when you take it out that you use a cloth underneath to avoid any drips of water in the cake before pouring it over. And the good thing with the chocolate is just easily spread. And that's it. I'm gonna put this, I'm just getting rid of any air. And that's it. I'm gonna put it in the fridge once again for at least an hour, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like when I cut it open. The cake has now been in the fridge for 3 hours roughly, so it's definitely ready. Let's have a look. Oh, and I didn't do it, but you can use a knife to go around the edges, but it did come off fine actually. Maybe just here. Yes, coming off very clean. Very happy with that. Let me put that to the side. Looking beautiful. Wow. And actually, like, it's pretty even in the layers. Super happy with that. So it, like I was saying, right, because I'm using a 24 centimeter cake tin, it's thinner, like a lot thinner than what the Happy Pear boys are doing, but I much prefer it like that because, like I say, it's a rich cake, right? Which I don't mind, but it can get sickly. I mean, I do like it, right? I'm not giving a good job of selling it, but anyway, let's let's get into it. Beautiful. Wow, nice and clean on the cut. Let's cut a little bit of a slice to have a look. Oh, my crumbs is a little bit crumbly there. That's not what I wanted. I thought about that when I did the base. And then I thought maybe there wasn't enough coconut oil. But it might be a case of like letting it sit. I'll recut another slice, but let me try it. As you can tell, I don't mind not being perfect. Oh wow. Yeah, the flavors are beautiful. Very happy with that. Wow, so tasty. Delicious. Let me see if I cut another slice. It might just be a matter of letting it set a little bit longer and also maybe not using just a knife. Right. Take two. Looking really good. And like I say, it's super tasty. So maybe that, yeah, recommending that maybe putting a little bit more coconut oil or something else. Like I say, I don't mind being imperfect. The flavors are there, and I'm just gonna enjoy it just as much. This is take two for the slicing of the cake. As you can see, I had more than one slice. I wasn't the only one involved. There was another person also eating the cake. But when I cut the second slice, then the base didn't crumble. So I just wanted to see also the next day and just to, yes, like I said, take another take. And I also wanted to mention that I think what happened, well, first I'm going to slice into it now, but it's looking really beautiful. Really happy with it. So let's see the next day. Yes, obviously it had more time to set. Yes, really looking beautiful. Very happy with that. But I also thought, right, maybe it wasn't enough time in the fridge. But because also this time around I was using the date sugar, it might have also been made a difference where maybe a little bit more coconut oil is needed. Apparently not, but just in case, because the recipe from the Happy Pear brothers, they use dates, and obviously it's a little bit more sticky, so it would help to bind the thing. So I mean, it's up to you. You can put a little bit more coconut oil or just wait a little bit longer before before you dig into it. That's probably what my mistake was. I should have waited a little bit longer, but it was so good and it looked so good. I just couldn't resist. And also, I wanted to mention that I'm really happy with reducing the amount of dates. Like I say, with the date sugar, I put 65 grams. The original recipe calls for 150 grams of dates, which for me, again, as a personal preference, I think it's a bit too sweet, a bit too sickly. So this is actually the perfect yeah, amount of sugar for me. As you can see, it's quite a lot of caramel, so it is quite sugary, you know. So, and I'll just be like to experiment. The other thing, this will keep in the fridge for, I mean, it doesn't last long in my household, so I can definitely tell you like 2, 3 days, but probably more. And I think you probably can freeze it, which I am going to do with this one because I'm going on a fast anyway. That's not about this video, so I'm not going to be having any more of these cakes from today onwards. So I am going to freeze it. If I don't post this video before then I will show the result when it's defrosted. But yes, I think you can definitely freeze it safely. So there you go. Beautiful salted caramel and chocolate cake. You can also go without the salt if you like and just having a chocolate and caramel cake.